Third here with another video. I recently found I still have a bunch of my old college notes and papers and projects and stuff, so I thought it would be very cathartic for me to look at some of this and say how much of an idiot I was back then to YouTube. So, naturally, the first thing I bring up is English, because that was one of my least favorite classes. The first document in here, I guess it was meant to be like an introduction for everybody. It's, I am a blank kind of person, and I wrote, I am a passionate kind of person. Maybe I like to think I am, but yeah, this is not good. This is a terrible idea. Oh god, that was major cringe. I'm not rating this one for word, but it's like sports for a long time was the only reason I got out of bed, and it's basically me just saying how I'm a passionate sports fan, and that when I played sports, I was passionate and wanted to do really well, and have fun. But oh man, that's so cringe. And it's not cringe because like, what am I? There's nothing I can do about it now, naturally. What? Encomium. What is an encomium? Oh, I don't remember this, but it was apparently some encomium. Well, let's look up exactly what. Encomium is a speech or a piece of writing that praises someone or something highly. Okay, that makes sense, because what I wrote about was a teacher I had in high school who was probably my favorite teacher ever. He was a technology and like engineering teacher I had, and he was an excellent teacher. It wasn't just about, shoving knowledge down your face holes, He really cared about his job and made it fun, made it interesting, and it made us want to learn. And he did this all while having to suffer from multiple sclerosis, which is an inflammatory disease in which I think they're called the myelin sheaths around like nerves in the brain or something like that in the spinal cord are damaged. And because of that, the body attacks its own tissue. And so, MS patients have, experienced muscle weakness in their arms and legs and can have problems with coordination and balance. And it can impair them so bad that they can't walk on their own or stand on their own. And the worst case scenario, people with MS are partially or completely paralyzed. And so this teacher he was diagnosed with this early in life, and was told, when he gets older, he's potentially gonna have some very serious effects of this. But the symptoms he experienced during his adult, his middle-aged life weren't severe enough that impeded him too much, so he could walk around and teach and be very hands-on in the classes. But he never let that diagnosis ruin his life. He was a great teacher, someone you could definitely look up to, and have a lot of respect for that guy. I lost touch of him in college. Unfortunately, I don't know what his life is like now. But yeah, he was a great teacher, and I hope he's doing well. I really do. I don't really understand what this one is. There's a document called Thomas Hobbes' Spark Notes. So it's clearly cheating on something here with Thomas Hobbes, the philosopher. Yeah, I had an essay. Thomas Hobbes, the Leviathan. Let's see. It's just basically a report on him. Hobbes theorized that men were set apart from one another at an early age in life, as in different levels or tiers of human beings, along with the capacity of attaining knowledge and understanding the basic literacy and science skills. Having the ability to acquire the knowledge was what really made the distinction between the levels of people. Humans attained knowledge and academic skills because they desired them. These particular skills nature defined and selected those who lead and those who needed to be led within a society. Same note, Hobbes also stated that there was no greater equality, that every man was happy with what they had, and that he clearly saw his own wisdom. However, when it came to recognize others' wisdom, men had trouble seeing that. If men both desired the same object, they would then become competitors. They would only endeavor to destroy or subdue one another. Focus becomes more on conquering the other than getting to their goal. Yeah. I spelled his name wrong. I didn't catch it. Hobbes reasoned. Hobbes without the E, because Hobbes is spelled Hobbes. In this sentence I have Hobbs. Hobbes reasoned that civil war happens because most men believe life without a common power would be generally better. He believed strongly that nature should not make men able to invade and destroy other men because there was no common power, there was no law. And if there was no law, then there was no injustice. Yeah, you can kind of. I mean, this is clearly what the spark notes were for. Clearly. Yeah. Nothing to write home about. I have a report here on driving. What was the point of this? Oh my god. The opening. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was always horrible at writing the introduction paragraphs. I was always bad at this. And this is really bad. I remember the total freedom and independence I felt when I passed my permit test at the blah 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 Department of Transportation station located in blah 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 state blah blah blah. I entered a new phase of my life in which I became a part of America that has been utilizing the automobile since the early 1900s. Receiving my junior's license was like a transformation from boyhood to young adult. Oh my god, so bad. First time I sat behind the wheel of my first car as a fully licensed driver was one of the proudest moments of my life. Oh my god. Oh my god. I've always considered myself a safe driver, although like most drivers, I've had to stretch the limits of the law. What? But I say one law I found incapable of breaking was the DUI law. Start talking about blood alcohol content. Oh man. Driving laws, driving etiquette. Driving etiquette was also a concern of mine. And then the next sentence, I literally list the highways I've driven on. Oh my god. And over time, I have noticed certain behaviors that drivers should have been courteous to those around them. So yeah, this kind of plays in with the dashcam Reddit page that I found in my previous video. I am not a perfect driver. I have realized there are certain aspects of driving that I need to work on. And this part is true, that I am too focused on the actual driving of the car, not focused enough on what's going on around me sometimes. Like one time I was in heavy traffic, but it wasn't like, it was flowing traffic, but heavy traffic. And I focused so much on, because I didn't focus so much on what was going on around me, I put emphasis on it, and I actually missed my exit. So that's really weird. Well, this is weird. In the conclusion sentence, this is, I have no recollection of this whatsoever. I have only been pulled over once in my entire life, and that was by, insert school name here, police, who wanted to talk to me about how great the blank sports team was. I don't remember that at all. And I feel like I had been pulled over before that, so I think I'm lying here. I mean, I've been pulled over how many times? 3 times? 4 times, maybe? I think 4 times. The first time was for speeding. I think the guy said I was doing 40 and a 25. I mean, probably weren't that far off. It's downhill on a not a busy road. Let me off with a warning, but what was weird about it was he asked if I had any drugs in the car. Out of nowhere. He said, "Do you have any drugs in the car?" So I said, "No, I have a GPS." I was such an idiot and such a dick at the same time. So, no, do you have any drugs in the car? No, but I have a GPS. And then I got pulled over another time for rolling through a stop sign and let me off with a warning again. And then I think maybe it is only 3 times. I got pulled over for speeding, got a ticket. I was driving on a highway, I can't remember which one, but I was just merging from one highway to another, and there was a speed limit difference. Like the speed limit dropped to like 10 miles an hour from the highway I was coming from to the highway I was going on, and there were state troopers literally right off the merge, and it's like, well, that's got to be like entrapment or something, right? Like I'm coming from a faster highway to a slower one, and they didn't give me time to adjust. Like that's got to be entrapment or something, right? Anyway, let's see what's next. Plato, a piece on Plato. Oh, this is just like this is actually from Plato's The Republic. I literally just copy and paste from something, so I probably use that in some sort of paper here. There's one on, I wrote a paper on education. I talked about referring to the Allegory of the Cave. And that's basically saying, if somebody is brought up in a cave where things are projected a certain way, you will just assume that to be what's true, and then when you're taken out of the cave and shown what things actually are, you won't believe it. And so it's like a shock to your system. And so just a way to talk about perspective and stuff like that. But yeah, the cave allegory is a good one, and I can't remember if that's one that I read while recording for one of the videos. But yeah, this is just another talk about my thoughts on the education system, and they actually haven't changed since then. Actually, it's actually the same exact thing. Interview questions. What is this? This is weird. So here's one that I have 6 questions listed out. The title of the document is North Korea Situation Interview Questions. So I guess we were asked to come up with questions that we would potentially ask, like, an intelligence, like, analyst or something. The questions are you up to date with the North Korean situation? Tell me what you know. Do you think that North Korea is entirely to blame? What do you think the United States should do about this? What do you think China will do, and why? Based on the current economy and the war in the Middle East, do you think it would be wise for the United States to get involved through military force, diplomatic pressure? What do you think the future has in store for North Korea? I mean, all those questions apply right now, almost, except for the Middle East part. And then the very next and last document I have is actually, I guess those questions were something I would have to pose and then answer them, because the very next and last document is called the North Korea situation. Oh, okay. So I went around to people I knew and asked them those questions. And then I talk about how those interviews went. So I interviewed 3 people, 2 friends of mine and one of my parents. First friend, political science major, hoping to become a lawyer. Second friend, not a political science major, but very interested in politics and current events. And the third person was a relative who just likes history. They all 3 from different sections of the political spectrum. Okay, let's see how this goes. All 3 were fairly up to date on the news. I think maybe this was around the time when North Korea had hit an island off South Korea with artillery or something like that. So let's see. Person A knew more than anyone else because he's so interested in politics. Person B knew the basics. That North Korea attacked an island. Yep, attacked an island that belonged to South Korea. Same with person C. Yeah, I give my personal feelings on the attack. To E, it is pretty obvious this attack was unprovoked and completely unnecessary. Person A made a clever analogy that North Korea is just being a bratty kid and China is being the neglectful, non-parenting parent in the situation. He says China needs to be the one stepping up, putting pressure on North Korea and getting North Korea back in line. Ask them, what do you think China will do? Their opinions varied. I said, I believe that China will begin to sever its ties with North Korea to keep itself clean, to keep its ties with the United States and the rest of the world, because they realize that they need the U.S. and the other global powers more than they need North Korea. I kind of think I agree with that. Person B agreed with me about China and their economic ties if they provided any aid to the North of war. He followed that statement by saying that he does not believe China will do anything significant. Person C was the only one who believed that China should do something about this. I would like that state China to take a stand against North Korea's actions. And, say something that's, anti-communist. Alright, so what should the US do? This is where the opinions were the most. Person A said, talk to China. Brought up a good point. Embargo be an awful idea. Embargoes on goods in the current situation in North Korea could have serious humanitarian effect. An embargo is also an act of war. Person B says the United States should continue to act as a diplomatic advisor to South Korea and provide aid to the South they think we can. And person C says stay out of it. You cannot get involved in another war. Yes, I'm kind of going into this more than I really need to, but from this is making me think back to it, and it's like, yeah, I actually did kind of enjoy this one. I did enjoy this report, just talking to people, asking questions about things, getting perspectives. I feel like being an interviewer would be cool, but you have to be smart to do that, so at least you have to be smart to be a good interviewer. There we go. Alright, so that's actually the last of the English stuff from first semester. And let's see what the other. I took a math class, an economics class, and a chemistry class, and like I think this course was like an introduction to college kind of course. Yeah. So not sure what I think I'm gonna stop here. And maybe save move to the second semester the next year. Oh man. Second semester freshman year I had a speech class, and I can only imagine how bad these are. So that might be what I do for the next video. Okay, so if you were looking to kind of wind down and relax at the end of the day or something like that, I hope this has helped in any sort of fashion. If you were looking for help trying to fall asleep, I hope you are asleep. And if you're not, I hope you fall asleep soon and you have a very restful slumber. Alright? Toodles.